Chosen one, the truth surfacing now is that a family member carried jealousy toward you since childhood, and the message moving through the unseen sounds like this: your grandpa is sending every strand of black magic straight back where it came from. You were chosen to carry the gifts forward. The jealous one chose theft instead. Let me tell you who this person is. An aunt, an uncle, a parent, a sibling, someone close enough to have access to you, close enough to watch, close enough to strike. And this person has been striking for years. But here's what you need to understand before we go further. This person is not evil. This person is broken, and broken people break people. This person grew up watching their parent walk right past them. Maybe the parent was military. Maybe the parent came back from war, unable to connect. Maybe the parent was just emotionally unavailable. But this person spent an entire childhood begging for scraps of attention that never came. Empty birthday parties where the parent didn't show up. Accomplishments the parent didn't celebrate. A love earned 1,000 times over but never received. And that wound shaped everything. This person entered every relationship looking for that validation. This person made every choice trying to fill that void. This person walked every dark path, hoping to finally feel powerful instead of powerless. This person learned things that shouldn't have been learned. This person connected with people who taught how to manipulate energy, how to enter dreams, how to attach cords to someone's solar plexus and drain their motivation, their joy, their life force itself. And then you came along. This child with the parents' eyes, the parents' gifts, the parents' attention and love. You got it naturally, effortlessly, without begging, without performing, without earning. You just were, and that was enough. And this person couldn't stand it. Every time your grandfather looked at you with pride, this person felt the absence of that look in their own childhood. Every time your grandfather chose time with you, this person relived every time they weren't chosen. So it started small. Comments that seemed harmless but carried barbs. Stories about you that painted you just slightly wrong. This person would bring up your failures at gatherings while forgetting your successes. But that wasn't enough, because the darkness this person learned from their circle taught that more could be done. Your light could be dimmed from the inside. You could be made to feel what this person felt: unworthy, exhausted, confused, blocked. While you slept, this person came for you, not physically, spiritually. This person had learned dream walking from a coven. This person learned how to slip into someone's subconscious and plant seeds. Seeds of doubt when you had clarity. Seeds of fear when you had courage. Seeds of unworthiness when you knew your value. Night after night, month after month, year after year, you started changing and didn't know why. That confidence you had as a child started fading. Projects you started with fire fizzled out halfway through. Ideas that excited you suddenly seemed stupid. Opportunities that aligned perfectly somehow felt wrong. You'd wake up exhausted even after sleeping. You'd feel drained around this family member but couldn't explain why. You'd sense something was wrong but had no proof, no language for what was happening. Cords were attached to your solar plexus. That's your power center, your motivation, your drive, your sense of self. And this person drained it. This person siphoned it to feed their own emptiness. You'd have days where you couldn't get out of bed, where everything felt heavy, where life felt pointless, and this person would show up at family events with that look, that barely concealed satisfaction, that energy of someone watching their plan work. Your grandfather was watching every single move from the other side, and your grandfather was building a case, documenting every attack, every invasion, every theft, and waiting, because there are laws in the spiritual realm, laws about karma, laws about protection, laws about what happens when you attack someone who carries a sacred bloodline. This person thought the power was real, thought the coven made them untouchable, thought the draining could continue forever, and then came the interference with your inheritance. Actual material inheritance. Documents got lost. Names got changed on paperwork. Money that was meant for you mysteriously redirected. This person thought the cleverness covered all tracks. Thought both your spiritual inheritance and material inheritance could be taken. Your grandfather tried reaching you first, gently, through signs you might have missed. That sudden urge to sage your house, that was your grandfather. That pull toward spiritual protection practices, that was your grandfather. That instinct to distance yourself from certain family members, that was your grandfather. That feeling of invisible hands catching you when you were about to fall, that was your grandfather. Dreams you barely remember held your grandfather's presence. Your grandfather stood next to you in moments when you felt alone. Your grandfather sent you songs with lyrics you needed to hear. Your grandfather put people in your path who said exactly what your soul needed. A war you didn't even know was happening was being fought. Your grandfather was blocking attacks before they fully landed, softening blows that would have destroyed you, keeping you alive, keeping you sane, keeping your light burning even when someone was trying to extinguish it. But your grandfather also knew something you didn't. This person needed to face themselves. This person needed to see what they'd become. This person needed to choose. Would the darkness continue, or would healing finally begin? So your grandfather watched, and waited, and protected. Your grandfather blocked what could be blocked, softened what couldn't be blocked completely, sent you strength when you felt weak, sent you hope when you felt hopeless, sent you love when you felt alone, and waited for the right moment, the moment when the scales would balance, the moment when karma would come due, the moment when justice would be served. This person kept going, got worse, more desperate, more aggressive, because your light was getting stronger despite everything. Your gifts were activating despite the blocks. Your path was clearing despite the obstacles, and it created rage. How dare you thrive when so much work went into trying to destroy you? How dare you shine when years were spent trying to dim you? How dare you succeed when so much energy was invested in your failure? So a choice was made. One final attack, bigger than all the others, darker, more vicious, meant to end you, to completely shut down your gifts, to block your blessings permanently, to make sure you never reached your full potential. The circle was gathered, the rituals were performed, everything this person had was sent, and your grandfather felt it coming, saw it building, and made a move. If these words stirred your consciousness, hype this video to help more chosen ones awaken to this. Your grandfather appeared in the night, the parent whose love had been craved an entire lifetime, standing in the bedroom with eyes that held both love and judgment, and the communication wasn't with words, it was with pure knowing. This knowing was transmitted directly into consciousness. Everything that had been done, every attack, every theft, every manipulation, every invasion of your dreams, every cord attached to your body, every spell cast in darkness. Your grandfather showed this person your face as a child, innocent, pure, gifted, and your grandfather showed what had been tried against that innocence, the nights you cried without knowing why, the opportunities you missed because of blocks, the relationships that failed because of interference, the money that never came because of stealing, the years of your life spent fighting invisible battles against your own family member. Your grandfather pulled back the veil on the entire operation, the coven meetings where plots against you were made, the rituals performed under new moons specifically timed to disrupt your manifestations, the candles burned with your name carved into the wax, the photographs of you as a child kept hidden in a box, used as focal points for jealousy spells, the journals where every success you had was documented so it could be countered with an attack. The study of you was revealed, how your patterns were learned, your sleep schedule so dreams could be invaded at the right time. Your work schedule so confusion could be sent during important meetings. Your relationship cycles so discord could be planted between you and those you loved. The obsession with dimming you had consumed everything. Every waking moment was spent either attacking you or planning the next attack. Your grandfather showed the spiritual damage caused, the way your solar plexus looked after years of draining, dimmed, weakened, barely functioning, the way your third eye had been clouded by interference, making it harder for you to trust your intuition, the way your heart center had walls built around it because you learned early that family wasn't safe, the way your root chakra stayed unstable because the rug kept getting pulled out from under you just when you'd find your footing. The domino effect of jealousy was shown, how when one opportunity was blocked for you, it delayed your entire timeline, how that delay meant you missed meeting certain people who could have helped you, how missing those connections meant projects didn't launch when they should have, how those delays compounded into years of your life spent struggling when you should have been thriving. The jealousy didn't just hurt you in isolated moments, it derailed your entire trajectory. Your loyalty was shown. Despite feeling the attacks, despite sensing something was wrong, you still showed up for family events, you still tried to have a relationship, you still hoped maybe you were wrong, you still gave chances, you still loved even when your intuition screamed to run, and that loyalty was used as access. Every family gathering became an opportunity to refresh the attacks, to study you up close, to see what was working and what needed adjustment. And then your grandfather gave a choice: stop now, completely, release every cord, revoke every spell, apologize to the universe for what has been done, heal your wounds, choose light, or face the consequences. Full karmic return. Everything sent comes back, multiplied, and there will be no protection from it. The wrong choice was made. Pride wouldn't allow the right choice. The darkness that had been fed for years wouldn't release its hold. The jealousy was too deep, the wound too raw. Looking at the parent brought back that same childhood rage. How dare you protect them now when you never protected me? How dare you choose them over me again? How dare you make me the villain when all I wanted was the love you gave them so easily? In twisted logic, sending that final attack became an act of defiance. If the parents' love and approval couldn't be had, then the one who did have it would lose everything, burn it all down, your gifts, your path, your light, your future. If happiness couldn't be found, you wouldn't find it either. That's what jealousy does. It would rather destroy than see someone else blessed. So that final attack was sent, launched with everything available, called on every entity deals had been made with, used every dark technique learned, poured every drop of hatred and jealousy into it. This wasn't a spell, this was a curse, designed to follow you for the rest of your life, to ensure you never reached your full potential, to guarantee you'd always struggle, to make certain you'd die without ever knowing who you really were. And your grandfather did what was promised, not just blocking it, reversing it, returned to sender, every attack ever sent, every bit of darkness, every drop of jealousy, every ounce of hatred, all of it, coming back now, with the full force of ancestral justice behind it, with the weight of spiritual law supporting it, with the precision of someone who knows exactly how energy works. But it was more than reversal. Your grandfather added personal energy to it, personal power, personal authority, as the head of your bloodline. What was sent as a curse came back as judgment. What was sent to destroy came back to correct. What was meant for evil, your grandfather turned into severe mercy, a forced awakening, a karmic intervention so intense there would be no choice but to face the self, to see what had been become, to choose healing or complete destruction. This person wasn't ready. The thought was that power was real, but it had only been borrowed power from stolen energy, and when that energy returned to its rightful owner, there was nothing left. The exhaustion hit first. This person couldn't get out of bed, couldn't function, couldn't think. Everything you were made to feel for years, this person felt now, times 10. Then the confusion came, the mind became fog, clarity vanished, the ability to manipulate disappeared, the cords attached to you reversed. Now invisible forces created the drain, now attacks from what couldn't be seen were felt, now understanding came of what you'd been put through. But understanding came too late. Finances collapsed, that insurance payout counted on, denied, that inheritance manipulated away from you, tied up in legal battles. Authorities started asking questions about money made through dark practices, audits, investigations. Everything built on stolen energy was crumbling because you can't build anything real on darkness. But the financial collapse revealed something deeper. Your grandfather made sure of it. Those documents forged to redirect your inheritance, they surfaced. Family members who trusted one version of events started seeing evidence of deception. The lawyer who'd been paid off got cold feet and came forward with the truth. Bank records showed transfers that didn't match the stories. The house of cards built with lies started collapsing. Your grandfather orchestrated this exposure with surgical precision. The goal wasn't just for this person to lose what was stolen. The goal was for everyone to see who this person really was. The mask needed to come off publicly. The family needed to understand why you distanced yourself, why you stopped coming to gatherings, why you set boundaries. You'd been called sensitive, dramatic, even jealous. Now the truth would be seen. Health failed in specific ways. The solar plexus attacked in you, not working anymore for this person. Digestive issues, problems with organs. That power center drained from you, now drained from this person. The sleep stolen from you, gone for this person. Insomnia, nightmares, exhaustion. Everything done to you was now happening to this person. Karmic precision matching every attack. But it wasn't just physical. Mental state deteriorated rapidly. The same confusion sent to you during important decisions now plagued this person constantly. This person couldn't think straight, couldn't make plans, couldn't strategize a way out. Every attempt to fix the situation backfired. Every move made to regain control made things worse. The full weight of what had been done to you was being experienced, and it was breaking this person. The coven that taught these practices, they dropped this person immediately. They could feel what was happening. They recognized ancestral justice when they saw it, and they wanted no part of being associated with someone facing that level of karmic return. Some even started their own protection rituals, terrified that what was happening might splash onto them. This person had become toxic in the spiritual community, untouchable, avoided, feared. Relationships crumbled. Friends started seeing differently. That charm used to manipulate people stopped working. Lies became obvious. Manipulations transparent. People controlled for years suddenly woke up and saw through everything. It was like your grandfather removed the glamour spell this person had been operating under. Everyone could see clearly now, and what was seen made them recoil. Even the children started questioning things. Memories that had been suppressed started surfacing. Times there had been cruelty, and they'd been convinced they misremembered. Moments when reality had been twisted to make them doubt what they knew was true. The way they'd been used against you, fed false narratives about why you stayed away. They started comparing notes, started questioning the stories, started realizing their parent had been lying to them their entire lives about who you really were, and the memories that came flooding back. Every birthday the parent missed, every achievement ignored, every moment of feeling invisible. All of it was overwhelming, not gentle, crushing. This forced a facing of what had been avoided for decades. The wound at the root of everything. The child who never felt loved, who became an adult, who destroyed someone else because of it. But here's what your grandfather showed in those memories. The moments when connection was tried. The times showing up happened, and anger prevented receiving, the gifts given that were rejected, the praise offered that was dismissed because it wasn't enough, how the wound was so deep that nothing could have filled it. The conviction of being ignored existed, but the truth was that walls had been built so high that love couldn't reach even when offered. This revelation destroyed something. The story told for decades, the narrative of being the victim, the belief of being denied what you received. The truth was seen. You received love because you were open to it, because you didn't make your grandfather pay for past absences, because you accepted what could be given instead of punishing for what couldn't. The difference wasn't favoritism, the difference was receptivity, and there had never been receptivity. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing to put yourself to the test. If you're still here, that means something, but talk is cheap. Real chosen ones take action. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve divine justice. You put on the headphones, press play, and watch your enemies choke on the rope their own lies created. If you're done consuming and ready to prove you're chosen, start your Destiny Engine for $1 today, join the Obsidian Inner Order live checks, and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. While collapse happened for this person, you started rising. You woke up one morning and felt different, lighter, like someone cut a rope you'd been dragging. Your energy returned, that fog lifted, your clarity came back sharp, your motivation sparked, your joy bubbled up. Everything taken, everything stolen, everything blocked was coming back to you now. You started sleeping through the night. Dreams became peaceful. Sometimes your grandfather appeared, not fighting anymore, just teaching, showing you things, passing down knowledge. You'd wake up knowing things you didn't know before, understanding things that confused you before, seeing patterns you'd missed before. Your gifts activated. That intuition you had as a child. Stronger now. You know things before people tell you. You see through lies instantly. You sense energy in rooms. You feel what others can't feel. You dream things that come true. Everything that was supposed to be yours from the beginning is yours now, amplified by the years of trying to suppress it. Your grandfather removed the blocks. Your grandfather cut the cords. Your grandfather returned your stolen energy. Your grandfather restored your inheritance, both material and spiritual. Money that was meant for you found its way. Documents that were lost reappeared. Truth came to light. Justice came quickly, and you realized how much you'd been fighting against, how much energy it took just to survive the attacks. And now that energy was yours to use for building instead of defending. Your grandfather sat you down in a dream and told you the truth about life lived, about the mission, about why protection was so fierce. This wasn't just protecting a grandchild, this was protecting a legacy, a mission that started but didn't finish, a calling that needed to continue through you. Your grandfather showed you the past, how people were helped to escape tyranny, how the innocent were hidden from those who wanted to harm them, how standing between predators and prey happened, how gifts were used to serve the light, how enemies were made because of it, how death came before completing what was started, how the mission didn't die, how it lives on in you. You carry the gifts because you're meant to carry on the work. Not exactly the same. The world is different now, but the spirit is the same, standing up for the vulnerable, protecting those who can't protect themselves, using your light to push back darkness, speaking truth when others stay silent, choosing courage when others choose comfort. This is why you're different. This is why you were targeted. This is why it matters that you survived. This family member sensed this, not consciously maybe, but somewhere deep, the knowledge existed that you were meant for something significant, and instead of supporting it, destruction was attempted, because wounded people try to wound others, because people who chose darkness hate watching others choose light, because your destiny made this person face their own wasted potential. Every time you were seen, this person saw what could have been if different choices had been made. But failure happened, despite years of attacks, despite joining a coven, despite learning dark magic, despite all the manipulation and theft and invasion. Failure, you're still here, your light still burns, your gifts still work, your mission still calls, and now, with attacks reversed, with your energy restored, with your path cleared, you're ready to answer that call. Something shifts in you now, a knowing, a clarity, a certainty about who you are and what you're here to do. That confusion planted, gone, that doubt seeded, dissolved, that fear nurtured, evaporated. You see yourself clearly for the first time. You see your power, your gifts, your calling, your destiny, and you're not afraid of it anymore. You start moving differently, speaking differently, choosing differently. You cut off dead relationships without guilt. You walk away from situations that drain you without explanation. You say no to things that don't align without apology. You protect your energy like the sacred resource it is. You honor your intuition like the divine guide it is. You trust your path like the destined journey it is. The activation isn't gentle, it's volcanic. Everything that was dormant in you erupts. Gifts you didn't know you had suddenly come online. You start knowing things that shock you, seeing things that used to be invisible, feeling energies you couldn't feel before. Your senses sharpen, your perception deepens, your understanding expands. It's like someone turned on lights in rooms of yourself that have been dark your whole life. People notice, some celebrate it, some feel threatened by it, some try to dim you again using the same tactics that family member used. But it doesn't work anymore. You're too strong now, too clear, too protected. You recognize the attacks before they land. You deflect them effortlessly. You keep moving forward without breaking stride. You've learned from your grandfather. The teaching was effective. Your gifts explode in ways that surprise even you. That intuition becomes prophecy. You know things before they happen. You feel shifts in energy before they manifest. You see the outcome of situations before they unfold. Those dreams become visions, clear, detailed, instructive. You wake up with strategies, with solutions, with knowledge you didn't go to sleep with. That knowing becomes wisdom. People start coming to you for guidance, for clarity, for truth, and you have it to give, not from books, not from study, from direct download, from ancestral knowing, from spiritual revelation. You speak, and people's lives change, not because you're special, because you're finally operating in your design, finally using what you were always meant to use. You start helping people in ways you couldn't before. You see what someone needs before asking happens. You speak words that unlock something in them. You carry a presence that shifts atmospheres when you enter rooms. You become a threat to darkness just by existing in light, just like your grandfather was, just like your ancestors were. The bloodline mission fully activated in you now. The abundance doesn't surprise you. You expected it. You knew it was coming, because your grandfather showed you, prepared you, told you exactly what would happen once that family member's blocks were removed, once cords were cut, once attacks were reversed. The message was clear that floodgates would open, and they have. Everything that person tried to block is now flowing freely, with interest, with acceleration, with divine backing. You understand now why your grandfather protected you so fiercely, why battles you never saw were fought, Why standing between you and attacks happened. Why waiting for the perfect moment to send everything back was the strategy. Why teaching you now happens with such intensity. You're not just a grandchild, you're a successor, the one who continues what was started, the one who carries the mission forward into this generation and beyond. That mission looks different in your hands. Different time, different challenges, different methods, but the same spirit, protecting the vulnerable, standing against tyrants, using gifts in service of light, speaking truth that others fear to speak, making choices that others fear to make, being a light in dark places. This is your inheritance, this is your calling, this is your destiny, and that family member who tried to stop you, failure happened, spectacularly. Everything sent came back, everything stolen was returned to you, everything blocked is now flowing freely. The attacks made you stronger, the attempts to dim you made you shine brighter, the jealousy revealed your glory, the hatred highlighted your love, the darkness proved your light. You rise now without apology, without permission, without waiting for anyone's approval. You know who you are, you know what you carry, you know what you're here to do, and you do it fully, powerfully, unapologetically. Because chosen one, you didn't survive all those attacks just to play small. You didn't maintain your light through years of darkness just to hide it. You didn't keep your gifts alive through constant assault just to let them go dormant. Your grandfather cleared the path. Now you walk it with authority. Blocks were removed. Now you flow with power. Your inheritance was restored. Now you multiply it with wisdom. Your gifts were activated. Now you develop them with intention. Your mission was shown. Now you fulfill it with excellence. This is your time, your season, your moment. Everything before was preparation. Everything now is activation. Everything ahead is manifestation. The world needs what you carry, the light you hold, the gifts you possess, the truth you speak, the love you give, the strength you embody, the wisdom you share, the power you wield, the mission you serve. Don't dim it, don't hide it, don't apologize for it, don't shrink it, shine it, share it, serve with it, transform with it, dominate your domain with it. Your grandfather is watching from the other side, proud, satisfied, knowing the protection worked, knowing the timing was perfect, knowing you're ready now, knowing you'll complete what was started, knowing the bloodline is secure, knowing the mission continues, knowing the legacy lives on in you, and chosen one, your grandfather is not the only one watching. Your ancestors stand behind you, multiple generations backing your every move. What you can't see yet is seen by them. What's coming that you haven't experienced yet is known by them. The way ahead of you is being prepared, moving obstacles, opening doors, connecting divine appointments, blocking enemies, exposing traitors, revealing truth. Overtime is being worked in the spiritual realm to make sure your physical walk is powerful, unstoppable, victorious. This family member thought you could be stopped. Wrong. Nobody can stop what your grandfather set in motion. Nobody can dim what was kept lit. Nobody can block what was cleared. Nobody can steal what was restored. You are protected by forces that couldn't be comprehended, backed by power that was never accessed, covered by love that was never experienced, and positioned for victory that will never be known by this person. Every morning you wake up now, you feel it, the difference, the shift, the change. That weight is gone, that fog is lifted, that drain is sealed. You're operating at full capacity for the first time in years, maybe the first time in your life, and it feels good, it feels right, it feels like finally being home in yourself, finally being free, finally being who you were always meant to be. People from your past are going to watch your rise with mixed feelings. Some will celebrate, some will be confused, some will try to reconnect now that you're thriving, some will claim belief in you was always there, Some will act like doubt never existed, but you remember who was there during the attacks. You remember who defended you. You remember who saw through the lies, and you honor those people, the real ones, the loyal ones, the ones who loved you, even when poison was being spread. Your boundaries are steel now. You learned. Closeness won't be allowed just because blood is shared. Peace won't be sacrificed for family obligation. Light won't be dimmed for family comfort. Dysfunction won't be carried because relation exists. You protect yourself first. You honor your energy first. You choose your peace first. And anyone who has a problem with that isn't your problem anymore. The gifts keep expanding. Every day brings discovery of something new you can do, some new way you can help, some new level of power you can access. It's like your grandfather is downloading upgrades in real time, teaching you things you need exactly when you need them, preparing you for situations before you encounter them, making sure you're always 10 steps ahead of any opposition. Your finances reflect your new reality. Money comes from multiple sources now, opportunities you couldn't have imagined before, connections that seemed impossible before, resources that appeared out of nowhere. Because your grandfather didn't just restore what was stolen. Multiplication happened. Interest was added. Floodgates were opened. That family member tried to keep you broke. Your grandfather is making you wealthy, in every sense of the word. But the wealth isn't just financial, it's relational. You're connected to the right people now, people who see you, value you, celebrate you, support you, people who add to your life instead of draining from it, people who protect your energy instead of attacking it, people who cheer your success instead of resenting it. Your circle is smaller but stronger, quality over quantity, protection over popularity. The mission is clear now. You know exactly what you're here to do. You know who you're here to serve. You know how you're here to help. And you're doing it without hesitation, without fear, without doubt, because you've seen what your grandfather can do. You've experienced the protection. You've witnessed the justice. You've received the teaching, and you trust completely now. Your grandfather appears in your dreams regularly now, not fighting anymore, teaching, preparing you for what's coming next, showing you things you need to see, warning you about things you need to avoid, celebrating wins with you, comforting you through challenges. The presence is constant, consistent, completely committed to your success, to your protection, to your victory, and you're grateful, so deeply grateful, for the intervention, for the protection, for the teaching, for the love. You honor your grandfather by living fully, by shining brightly, by serving powerfully, by becoming everything he knew you could become. This is how you give thanks, not with words, with your life, with your choices, with your impact, with your legacy. The cycle is broken, the pattern is shattered, the curse is reversed, the attack is defeated, the enemy is exposed, the inheritance is restored, the gifts are activated, the mission is clear, the path is open, the future is bright, and you're walking into it with your head high, with your light blazing, with your power flowing, with your purpose driving you, with your ancestors backing you, with your grandfather guiding you. You are unstoppable now, not because nothing can touch you, but because nothing can stop you. Attacks will still come, challenges will still arise, opposition will still emerge, but none of it can stop you anymore. None of it can dim you, none of it can derail you, because you're protected, you're powered, you're positioned, and you're purposed. Your grandfather made sure of it. Everything was sent back to that jealous family member. Every obstacle was cleared from your path. Everything stolen was restored. Everything suppressed was activated. You were positioned for victory, and now you walk it out with confidence, with power, with authority, with dominance in your domain. This is your story. This is your truth. This is your power. Own it, all of it, And watch what happens when a chosen one finally stops playing small and steps into their full glory. Watch what happens when ancestral protection meets divine purpose. Watch what happens when someone finally becomes who they were always meant to be. You are that someone, and your moment is now, forever protected, forever powered, forever positioned for greatness.